Welcome everyone to the Comics Collectors Corner podcast. We're doing the ASM reviews for ASM 23, 927, and ASM 24, 918. We're going to do something a little different this time. I'm going to try to, for those of you watching the YouTube channel, on Mr. Comics 89, instead of listening to it on podcast form, I'm going to try and share some pictures from the Marvel Comics app where I bought my digital copies, and hopefully this video doesn't get striked by YouTube and threatened to be taken down, because that's the best I can do in that regard. But I want to try and do more visual aspects, not just talking about it. It might help me talk more to you guys instead of just just talking. Might help me actually flow the story better. So let's get down to it then, shall we? Sorry, I'm fighting a bit of a cold, so my voice has been off and on for the last week. All right, we got ASM number 23 here. First off, this reverse cover of ASM 1 is just gorgeous. You got basically a reverse view. It's an homage, reverse homage almost to it. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. But we open up with just Spider-Man being thrown outside of York, Pennsylvania, and his first thought, she's still there. She's still there. I mean, this story is amazing in how it is. He's burying the costume because he's panicking. He's not thinking about it. He's making a run for it, just trying to avoid. Thing we see him talking to himself. This issue does a very good job of Spider-Man talking to himself. But he's off. He's talking to himself. He's on the subway. He's figuring out, that time is passing. We see him figure out time is passing, because he was, according to May, he just seen yesterday, but it's been at least a week. So Peter is trying to get something. We see Norman Osborn here, offering to help him, or just to be here for him if he needs anything. And Peter's just not having it, just slamming out of the room. I don't have time for your games, because Peter's just literally on the move, running around constantly. He's ignoring Randy. Because if time is slipping by, it was a day. It was at least a day, and then we see at least a day. A day happened, but it was a week. So therefore, he's realizing that he does not have time for anything. He cannot have time to talk to Randy. Doesn't have time to talk to Aunt May. Doesn't even have time to go through the Fantastic Four's door, as we see the security system swipe in. I've skipped the pictures for the intro there, but he's talking to Ben and Human Torch because Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman aren't there. He's telling him what's going on, that they're using the computer little electronic device thing. I apologize. To get back home, this is what's going on. And they're told to... I apologize, guys, I really do. That basically Cap was coming because, well, 2 bombs went off in in Pennsylvania, and they found remnants of a Spider-Man suit. So did Spider-Man commit all these crimes? Did Spider-Man commit all these crimes? And so he just, you know what? I don't have time to just, what was I doing? Sorry, I lost my thought. But he needs to borrow something, or needs to make computer tests and Reed's lab. Talk to Cap first. And if I don't want to wait for Cap, we're supposed to make you. Oh, I appreciate your honesty. And bye-bye. But we can literally see in the next spots here on the screen, Spider-Man is literally flying vertically through the sky. He's swinging big, huge arches, basically flying across New York City because he does not have time to wait around. We even see him, no time, don't get caught. We see him literally bouncing down an alleyway, taking off the suit as he goes. And somehow he ends up next to Doctor Strange. which is where's that shot? There it is. And of course, I think he's near Doctor Strange. Something about the thing. Sorry, still new to the thought process. But we see at the bottom of the alley, Captain America is waiting for him. Captain, was basically saying, this is what's going on. I need you. He's here to help. I'm here to help you, Peter. We're gonna talk things through. I need you to come in and talk what's going on. Because right now, the FBI is trying to figure out if he's an enemy of the state. Because again, 2 big bombs went off when the wire god from the last couple of issues blew up. 2 weapons of mass destruction went off in American soil. We just need to come in and answer some questions. Suit up. We'll go talk to them. Shouldn't take more than a day or 2 to do so. And how disappointing, that this will take more than a day or 2. And just, what? Bam! He punches Captain America across the face. And Peter, you can see right here in this picture, we see Captain America. Captain America knows Spider-Man. He knows Peter. And he knows that he's not the kind of person just to punch him. Something is seriously messed up going on with Peter. He's stressed. He's run to the 11th. He's on 1 to 10. He's stressing to 11 or 12. He's going through something. Let me help you through it. And Peter, I don't have time. And just slams, uses his spider powers to take Cap's shield from him and just slam him. I can clearly understand your frustration, because even after all this, he's pretty much fighting Captain America, and Captain America is not attacking him. He knows Peter's going through something, but again, Peter's like, Captain America is just trying to help. It doesn't matter how to tune it out. He knows he's Peter Parker. He's out of places to hide. But he remembers that's not really true. And he goes into an office building, breaks in, like, this can't possibly be good. Peter's like, I don't understand. Don't talk, listen. You said you wanted to help me. So help me. It's Norman Osborn and Oscorp he broke into. Norman Osborn had offered to help him, and now Peter is here. Peter is here to collect on that help. This issue was amazing. The internal talk, we see in the internal talk and all that. An aspect of early Edison comics was Spider-Man's internal monologue. It's how you could tell who the character was, and all this was just him. The internal monologue. You could see Peter. He's just trying to rescue Mary Jane. I understand nothing else in this world matters more than your family. Your wife, your girlfriend, since he's dating MJ at the time here still. He has to go and save her. And so nothing else in this world matters. Not to take time to go to Captain America to ask her questions, not to talk to his roommate, not to talk to Aunt May. He's figuring out that something's going on and time's acting differently, and that every second he's here, every minute that he's here in his world in 626 or 616, that a week could be going by in this other dimension in Sebulba, or Hell York, as I called it. And so he's going to the one person who's offered help, and is pretty much not going to ask too many questions. I'll help and let's do it. And while he's helping, he'll ask the questions, and they're going to get straight to work. So artwork is amazing. Story was great. Just live action pack, just action scenes, Peter rushing all over the place, him confronting the Fantastic Four, Ben and Johnny, him basically trying to almost beating Captain America's ass with the shield there. Just literally I'm going to fight the world to rescue Mary Jane. This issue, A+ for me. A+ for me. There is, just even the reaction to Osborn at the time. Because, Osborn at the time, to get out of here. I know we don't need your help. I don't trust you. But he's backed into a corner. I know some people complain, going, "Oh, he can't do anything without somebody's help." Well, at the same time, it's the same fans who are complaining that Peter is always going to somebody for help or always having help and bailing out of situations are the same people that complain about the story not happening. You know, that you have to do things sometimes. You can't do everything yourself. This was a very good story for me. A plus. I seriously cannot see anything wrong with this particular story. Peter needs help. He needs somebody to ask. The cover was amazing. Peter needs somebody who's not going to ask too many questions, who's going to help him right away. And Norman Osborn, sinless Norman Osborn, has offered to help. He's offered to help Peter. He's the good guy just trying to help. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help. Maybe because he feels guilt over what he did, or he's honestly a good guy now. Either way, this person is honestly trying to help or willing to help Peter. And so, of course, Peter's going to go to him. And just that, the cover, A+. I could not find a thing wrong with this issue, honestly. I mean, the only thing I thought of a few things, like what was Peter need in the lab? Did he steal something from the Fantastic Four? Because I missed the backpack going in at first, but then I saw it coming out, and so it was like, what did he steal? But that comes the next issue. I really enjoyed it. So that's there. Next issue, Amazing Spider-Man number 24, Legacy 918. This one I have a few different panels because it just didn't quite picture the same for those of you watching on YouTube. So, art by Zeb Wells, writing by Zeb Wells, art by John Romita Jr., ink by Scott Hanna, Marco Menez, colorist, and VC's Joe Caramagna as letterer for both issues. So been in the Bastard Building 1 year ago, well past midnight. Ben's, nothing, Alicia, I'm just gonna. I heard a noise. I'm not eating. I'm not eating a late night snack. Pulls a sandwich out of the fridge. Yeah, come to me. And then hears banging noise, and like, I appreciate the cover, but whoever's there, you're not supposed to be here. He runs into Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. And wait, you guys just got back? Then who's making that noise? And it's, of course, Peter. Peter is breaking into the Fantastic Four building to steal a mini reactor, a mini fusion reactor. Mr. Fantastic's going like, are you stealing that? Why didn't you just ask? Can I borrow this? It's dangerous. I can't just... Exactly. Webs up, Mr. Fantastic. He webs up Mr. Fantastic. They're trying to set up the computer to restrain him, but because he's not a intruder, the computer wasn't realizing that he was a threat. And after some bars and shields, Peter ends up escaping out of the Baxter building and has to go incognito. He's heading to where he can to meet up with his friend Norman Osborn. They've gone to New Jersey to do a little secret there because everything's in New York, but nothing's in New Jersey, which is a mysterious figure here that we'll see in just a second. But I like that figure appearing in here. So Norman here is working on the suit. Looks like an older 1.0 version of his new suit. The suits here gonna allow them to go into the other dimension. Peter to go into the other dimension to rescue Mary Jane. After arguing with Norman, Norman says it's ready, I need to test it. Peter saying we're going now. Remember the whole Captain America thing and think that's 70% unstable? No, push forward. We're doing it now. And Spider-Man disappears into the multiverse, into the portal, whatever he was doing, and we're left with Norman in the wreckage. and we see Miss Marvel, and watching him, which now explains to me what the heck Miss Marvel was doing in New York in the Baxter Building, not in the Baxter Building, but Miss Marvel at Oscorp in the early issues. I wondered where the heck she was coming from, why she was an intern there, and she's wondering what the heck Norman's doing. Because here, he's doing. That explains why she's going undercover, because they stole the mini reactor from the Fantastic Four. They borrowed Stark's aggressive. They borrowed quantum cables from Stark. They borrowed a Planck drive, or Black Cat stole a Planck drive from Moon Girl. So that's why the entire universe is mad at Spider-Man. He's stealing advanced science technology from him, or from them. So I think that's what Peter did, honestly. So Spider-Man, after Miss Marvel's wondering what he's doing there, disappears into the very nicely drawn by John Romita Jr. interdimensional portal, and we see Spider-Man. Here's where I'm finding something, because here we see the guy making the sacrifice to get the power of the gods. Looks like he's talking out of time, out of space. That there you are. You travel to your death. I slaughter you when you arrive. My ceremony was interrupted, and that I should have, you know, and I performed in the wrong order. I gained the power by mind, but not body, of a god. To become a god of death, I must. And it looks like he was gonna say die. It looks like because it ends with a D there, and then we see him in body, which is weird. And Mary Jane and Paul. Looks like Paul's really hurt, holding some sort of mythical dagger. Spider-Man arrives, tackles him. Get away from her! And here he is talking on, you only spend your last moments of the death, and then, I'm gonna, you can no longer stand against me. I'm gonna kill you all, kind of mentality. And he's like, I hear a small voice in my head. What's talking to me? And then all suddenly, he's stabbed with a blade. And it turns out he had dropped. I'm not sure how, dropped by Paul. That, and he's talking to himself, just as my God, I am now dead. Paul saying, that works for me. But here's where I'm saying here. He's dead. He had the mind of a god, but not the body of a god. And it looked like he was about to say, am I going to die? And I need to die. I need to die for it to be in the body of a god too. So other people complain that, oh, this is just a wrapped up and done. We dismiss the body. But as we remember in the early, and I think it was 21, this guy is back. He is not actually dead. He is not actually dead. Because in the present day, he's not actually dead. So what happened, my theory here, and I'll finish the rest of the story here, is that he got the mind of a god, the powers of a god. Now he needs the body of a god. He needs to physically, bodily die. You need to separate the god from the human flesh. And so this story is not ending here. So there wasn't a quick and easy victory that Paul gave him, and it's just done like that. Yeah, Spider-Man's bad guy was done for him. It was done in one panel, done in one page. How pathetic Spider-Man is. I think that he had to die, and so that way he stood there, his back turned to Paul, sword dropped, and now he's dead. So now he can physically die and be reborn as a total god. Back to the story. Paul's going, the kids, Mary. Mary's like, Peter, is that really you? And he's all excited to see her, come here. And she's saying, wait, you've been gone a while. Things have changed. Paul, the kids are scared. Peter's, who are they? And then Mary Jane, my family. So that is the end of that issue. Dun dun dun. To be continued in 25. This issue here was definitely not quite as there. I mean, I'm really hoping that issue 25 has some flashbacks. I was really hoping for some flashbacks of Mary Jane, and I was really hoping for some flashbacks of Mary Jane for this story with Paul for this one their time, and I didn't get that this time, so I was a little disappointed. Hopefully we get it that next time because I want to see some of the progression. I want to see if Mary Jane and Peter are truly going to be broken up for a while, and that she's truly going to be the wife and mother of Paul and the kids. I want to see the story that I'll accept. I won't be happy about it. I'm not going to be happy about it until Mary Jane's with Peter because they're married, in my opinion. They're married in my belief. They should have stayed married. Marriage should have not been undone. So if you're going to have Mary Jane married to Paul and away from Peter, I need to believe and accept the story. So I need to see that. So because that wasn't there, it gets a docking, and the book gets a docking because I was hoping it'd be there this time. Because you could easily have done just a 1-page or 2-page spread, or even in the background while the panels were happening, like the kids, Mary Jane, and you see flashbacks of, because when you've been gone a while, if you just flashbacks of afterwards of Peter going, her with Paul, she's pregnant, birth of the kids, running from the bad guy all at the same time, running and hiding, Paul fighting with a gun. You could have had 6, 7 panels or backwards things. You could have had that story explained perfectly into a 2-page spread. Just that. But I like Miss Marvel, and it explains that I like the fact that they're hiding out in New Jersey, so it explains where Miss Marvel came from in the issues. Artwork was great, cover was good. I'm gonna give this issue a B plus, I think. No, B plus A minus. It is right there. I cannot decide because, like I said, I didn't get the flashback of Miss Marvel. Disappointed. I didn't get the flashback, I guess, of Mary Jane and Paul. Don't know where the kids came from still. Although I still have a theory, other podcasters had a theory. Other podcasts I listened to had a theory that they're in Sebulba. They talked a lot about symbology in these books. What if the kids are a symbology of Mary Jane's love for Peter? The marriage, to be married, to have a family with him, like they might have done if they stayed together. So these kids might not even be Paul still, not even effectively be Peter's. They could be the physical creation, the symbology, physical look of her love for Peter. It made an interesting theory. I doubt it's going to be true, but it'd be a very interesting theory with that. I am going to say B plus, just because there is a lot of room for improvement. Um, there is room for improvement. It didn't run as smooth. It was a little bit of an anticlimactic body death for the villain, or for the Ronin, or Renin, or whatever his name was. Trying to get the powers of his god. But like I said, my theory is that because he had to physically die for him to become a physical true god. And so that because of that theory, and because of that belief, because I think I remember other movies like that. A god trapped in the body, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, when Calypso were bound in bones, so the pirates could be the masters of the seas. She had powers and abilities, but she was not a true god while she was bound in bones. He's still bound in his bones, and so therefore he's not free and truly a god just yet. So I'm going to say B plus, just because anticlimactic, even though my theory would point out that it works because you could have fought him just a little bit harder, a little bit more of a fight, and not just quite so, oh, he's dead next, and it kind of stumbled to the end just a little bit. It didn't quite land the ending of this book. Sorry guys, stretching, sore. It's been a tough week. So there you have it. Amazing Spider-Man 23 gets an A+, outstanding, fantastic. I love it. 24, it gets a B+. No, I'm gonna do A-. We're gonna go ahead and do A- just because I have issues with the book, but it wasn't horrible. It explained an awful lot. It explained why the world is now against him, in a sense. Why Fantastic Four was angry. Why Miss Marvel was there. Aunt May dealing with those bills that are coming in there. That he's only there for a short time. Why these bills are so expensive? I explain a little bit her reaction to physically assaulting Norman Osborn. She might be disappointed in Peter, which would lead to more belief there. So I'm going to give it an A-. Room for improvement, but by no means horrible. I am definitely enjoying this story arc. This what did Peter do arc. I'm enjoying it. There's only 2 issues left, 25 and 26, both double-sized issues. I am extremely interested in how the story ends. There's going to be a death, supposedly. I think it happens in 25 or 26, but I doubt it's Mary Jane. I am convinced it's not Mary Jane. But the question is, who's going to die then? I don't know. I do not know. All right, so take care, everyone. Thank you for watching Comic Collector's Corner podcast. And thank you for those of you watching my YouTube channel as I upload this video here. This has been a fun video. I am enjoying it. What are your guys' thoughts on these 2 issues? What do you think on 23 and 24? I am enjoying it, but I seem to be in the minority. A lot more people out there, a lot more Spider-Man fans say this isn't Spider-Man. They hate these issues. They hate the story. They are destroying Mary Jane. They are not representing Peter Parker. They're not representing Spider-Man. Whether or not they're right, it's their opinion. Mine is this story just works. I like it. I've been waiting 20 issues for What Did Peter Do? And I'm enjoying it. So thank you for coming, everyone. See you guys next time for the next review. Until then, happy collecting, and I'll see you guys next time. Talk to you later.